Hi, this is Katherine Bird, and I am talking to you from this beautiful rainy day in Southern California. I've just been planting seeds and having a conversation with a dear and close friend about some things that are going on in her life, and looking at relationship, looking at the feminine and the masculine and what's going on right now, and how there seems to be this thing that's happening where we're really being called into alignment to shift these old frequencies around the masculine and the feminine, and especially around this feminine rising. And we hear about it. We hear about, oh my God, the feminine is rising. We're rising up and we're shifting the frequency that the planet has been under, this patriarchal system, for these many years, and the degradation that women have had to live under. And we're seeing that the feminine is rising. We're seeing that there are being called into accountability for the horrors that women have been living under, and that, you know, even just in the last 100 years, the shift in women's rights all over the world, especially in the Western world and the other areas of the world, are starting to shift and starting to move. But as we start to contemplate, oh, the feminine is rising, there's a shift in the balance, so that we're going from being really imbalanced masculine to the feminine rising up and finding ourselves back into a space of more equilibrium and balance, so that we can serve each other and serve the world. And we see where we see these horrible things that are happening in the world. We see that our mother, the representation of the feminine, is just in so much pain, being polluted, and the things that are happening. And we also see the people rising up. We see the tribes coming together to converge and to say no more. We will not take this anymore. We see that women and communities are starting to rise up and say it's not okay for our people to be raped when they're unconscious. It's not okay for the abuses and the neglects that are happening in this world. And one of the things that's happening in this process of the feminine rising, we think, oh, the feminine is rising. Oh, it's the goddesses are taking over and the priestesses. And we sort of have in this conscious community, spiritual community, where we see a lot of representations of this. And it's like ladies in headdresses and crystals and shit. And we're like, yay, this is the thing. And that's lovely. That's great. We love that, right? As a representation of this archetype of the empowered female. But in this process, for the feminine to rise, for the feminine to truly rise up, to take its place and to own its power, there is a deep shedding. There is so much work to be done, and you are feeling it. I am feeling it. We are all feeling it through our womb spaces, through our pussies. We are moving energy. We are feeling the shift inside of us first, and we are having to process lifetimes and worlds and our ancestral lineage. And for the whole entire community on this planet, we are processing through our systems shame, fear, sexual abuse, all of the things that have been happening to women when our power has been stripped away and we have been used and abused and treated like shit. And at this point, we are on that uptick, on the shift, and we think it's going to be just like, oh, yay, I'm the goddess. No, it's not. I'm sorry. It's work. It's a lot of work. And for those of us who are here to do deep, energetic work, we are feeling it and we are dealing with it. And it is having to be moved through our bodies. So know that if this is your path, if this is where you are, You will be having deep stages of grief. You will be feeling shame. You will have to be looking at all of the places in your sexuality that you have shame and fear of the old traumas from your childhood or from your past relationships are coming to the surface to be moved out. There's, you know, a lot of womb stuff going on, womb clearing that's happening, and sometimes that shows up as real physical symptomology that's happening inside the system. We're having to look at where we don't trust other women, we don't trust ourselves as women, where we don't own the power of being the female, that we aren't in alignment with the sisterhood, that we hold ourselves back from being intimate with other women and from trusting them and being in community, being in close collaboration of you know, allowing each other to help each other through the processes that we're going through, to help each other with our children, to be better friends, to be lovers, to be confidants, to be collaborators on this journey. We're being called into all of these pieces. And some of us are really struggling through this, but know that this is just what is happening. It has to happen right now in order for us to get to the next place. We see all the environmental stuff that's happening with our mother, and we're like, our political situation, and we go, like, how could it get any worse? Like, how could we get any more, like, the most negative patriarchy bullshit that we could possibly get from Donald Trump, that we would have, you know, somebody who basically wants to take away all of our rights to our bodies, who is just so degrading and misogynistic to women. And we're being shown it. We're being shown it. We're being shown it. We're being shown it. We're being shown on a daily basis. We're hearing about judges who say horrible things about women keeping their legs closed so they don't get raped. We're seeing the way that our young women are being treated, and their need to be beautiful, and their need to be perfect, and their need to be sexy above all other things, in the pornography that we're seeing that is getting more and more violent and more degrading, and our men that are addicted to it. And we see that we're having to pull ourselves, scratching and clawing and screaming and crying out of this fucking mess, and that is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. So do not fucking despair, because this is part of the process, and we would not have all of these starseed, alien, badass, mystic warriors of light on this planet right now if we were not here to shift some heavy shit, to do some deep work, and to change all of this, to be witness to all of this. Because when we look around, we're like, there is no way, no fucking way that we're gonna make it out of here alive. But there are so many of us who are pushing and pushing and pushing for the consciousness to shift. There are so many of us willing to go in to our womb spaces and clear that shit out and cry it out for the betterment of all beings on this planet. And if you are called into that work, know that it's not going to be always easy, but you are fucking supported. And you can find help out there. We are here to help you. We are here, and we are ready to do this work. So know, if you're confused, if you're freaking out, if your shame and your guilt and your trauma is all coming to the surface, be like, fuck, yes, yes. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be able to go into this deep, dark shit, because I am shifting this not just for me, but for every woman on this planet and for every man on this planet, so that we will actually have a different future, a brighter future, where we are rising together and we are balanced inside of ourselves, with our world, and with each other. So hang in there. Hang in there. Reach out to your sisters, brothers. Hold space for these women. We need you. Stop distracting yourself. Stop it with the fucking pornography and the internet and every other thing that you're using to keep your mind off of the fact that this world needs you. to stand up, to stand strong, and to stand in the fire with us, to learn how to make love to us so that all of the shame is shed from our system and we are able to be conduits of a higher frequency of love. Because we can do this. We can do this together. Do not despair. The feminine is rising, and it is not rising to take over the masculine and to be in control or to force things. It is rising so that we can come once again into balance with each other. Many blessings, many, many, many blessings on you and your womb and to all beings on this planet. Just be grateful. Be grateful for this work that we're called into doing. And know that you're not alone. Know that you're not crazy and you are supported.